Fumilayo Ransome-Kuti, the woman who challenged colonial power. She stood up to kings. She challenged the British Empire. And she proved that education could be a weapon. Her name was Funmilayo Ransome-Kuti, and she refused to stay silent. This is part 1 of her story, where her story begins. Funmilayo Ransome-Kuti was born in Abeokuta, in present-day Ogun State, southwestern Nigeria. At the time, Abeokuta was a strong Yoruba city with deep traditions, powerful kings, and growing colonial influence. This was a society where women worked hard, women traded, women raised families. But when it came to political power, women were expected to step aside. Funmilayo would not. A girl who learned to question. Born in 1900, Funmilayo was one of the first Nigerian girls to receive formal Western education. She later studied in England, where she was exposed to new ideas, equality, democracy, and human rights. When she returned to Nigeria, she returned changed. Education had given her something dangerous to colonial rule, a voice that could not be controlled. Funmilayo became a teacher, but she did not only teach reading and writing. She taught confidence. She encouraged girls to think, to speak, to challenge injustice. She believed that an educated woman was a threat to oppression, and history would soon prove her right. In Abeokuta, women faced growing hardship. Colonial authorities worked through local rulers. Taxes increased. Market women were targeted. Yet women had no voice in decision-making. Men ruled. Women paid the price. Funmilayo saw this clearly, and she decided to organize. She helped form the Abeokuta Women's Union. What started as a small group grew into a powerful movement of thousands of women. They demanded fair taxation, representation, and respect. They held meetings. They wrote petitions. They marched peacefully. For the first time, colonial authorities began to worry, and local rulers began to feel threatened. At the center of the conflict stood the Alake of Abeokuta, the traditional rulers supported by the British. Funmilayo and the women accused his administration of injustice and corruption. The tension exploded. A woman, a movement, a king, an empire watching closely. Something had to give. Funmilayo Ransome-Kuti had challenged power, but power never steps aside quietly. In part 2, we uncover how the women forced a king to abdicate, how the British fought back, and the personal cost Funmilayo paid for standing her ground. This was only the beginning.